Who remembers the original 2007 Transformers movie game? I do, and I actually really loved it. Wasn't the best game ever, but I have a soft spot for it. And I wanted the drones, specifically the Decepticon drones. And before you say it, no, I don't have Revenge of the Fallen Dirt Boss, but then again, he's not really the topic of this video. This video is about the original 2007 toy line Deluxe Decepticon drones. We have Dropkick, Payload, Swindle, and Dreadwing. And they're all really cool. They're all based off of actual sprites from the video game, which is awesome. And they all, besides one of them, have the Decepticon drone camera heads. Oddly enough, though, he has an Autobot drone head, even though he's a Decepticon drone figure. He was repainted into an Autobot, so you could just have him as an Autobot drone. But I got I got some parts for him at the thrift store, and the other parts to mostly complete him at the flea market. I don't have the cover for the back, but I actually like it without it, and the weapon's really dumb. I'll show you a picture of it. I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, we have Payload, Swindle, Dreadwing, and Dropkick. I really like these guys. They're cool. They're nice. They're pretty decent, but they're just fun toys at the end of the day. And hey, they're based off of a video game that's really obscure, and we're probably never going to get action figures of these guys ever again. So yeah, which one should we talk about first? Because I'm just going to go, I guess let's go left to right here. Let's talk about Dropkick first. Before he was the star of the Bumblebee movie, he was a Decepticon truck with the giant Decepticon logo just plastered on the top of it. I mean, it looks kind of cool. I dig the look of it. I like the colors. You can definitely see how they carried those colors forward on the actual movie design of Dropkick. But yeah, this is our Deluxe Dropkick. Like I said, he had a big old cover for the bed there, and it was a scissor weapon. I mean, here's a picture of it. There you go. It's awful looking. It's horrible. And I actually like it without it, because look, he has an opening little hitch. Or hatch, I should say. I don't know. A little flap. Back flap of truck. He has one of those. And look, you have the wheel wells sculpted in. I mean, I have loaded up a lot of furniture into a lot of trucks. I work at a furniture place. And it's really faithful. That's probably the best beds of a truck I've ever seen on a Transformer. The truck mode's is really good, man. And they've done some repaints of this guy, so if you maybe want to get one of those, be my guest. Rolls pretty well, too. So let's transform him. So his transformation is a little complicated. You can see he has this automorph where you flip the wheels up and the doors come forward. So that's really cool. You can't really get the doors to open without doing that, though, unfortunately. It would be kind of cool if you could, but you do that, and then you get the arms kind of down, and then you start kind of spreading those out, and then you just kind of do things. You just kind of blow them up. Basically just blow them up. And you get these hinged like that. Or you could actually hinge them however you really want. But you can do that. And then this kind of folds up in such a way so it will conceal. Then you get this hinged forward. Then the legs, he's got those kind of chicken legs going on. So you get those down, get those kind of hinged how you want, get the heel flipped out. That's why I keep the thumbnail along, so I don't have to worry about picking and prying at that kind of thing. That's such an inside joke. That is the joke of J4 right now. Like, look, no thumbnail. But look, thumbnail, woo, it was easier, wasn't it? And then you have these little spikes that just kind of go up. So there's the legs pretty much done. You can adjust his height to however you want. I personally like him a little taller. And then you get these shoulders on these whole hinges all the way forward, or all the way back, I should say. Tab them in. Then pretty much the last step is to take care of the arm kibble. And you don't really need a weapon for him because he has these built-in blasters on his arms. If there's one thing I've always loved with Transformers, it's when they have built-in weapons where you don't even need to like grab an accessory. He's just got a weapon. I love that. So then flip this back and his head pops up. Get his little spikes adjusted. Get his little chestulars adjusted. And there we go. There is our 2007 Dropkick. And yeah, like I said, he has the Autobot drone head and not the Decepticon drone head. So it's a little confusing, because the Autobot drones, they had like the generic, you know, faceplate, GM from Gundam Optimus Prime look, and all the Decepticons had the mono-eye camera, like Shockwave. Yeah, they didn't do that for this guy, unfortunately. But then again, with how it's sculpted, it would be really stubby. But then again, that really didn't stop him in other figures. So yeah, I love this robot mode. It's really cool looking. I love the door wings. I think the kibble actually adds to the look. And this is how they looked in the movie too. Or not the movie game. The chest, I like how the ankles are on the windshield there. I like the built-in gun arms. I like the backwards legs, but they still afford you pretty decent range of articulation. You can still move them around a lot. You still have a lot of range in the legs there. You don't really have a thigh swivel, but you don't really need it. The arms, they can move pretty well, as you can see. They got a double joint for the transformation, or just a single joint, but it pretty much bends all the way for transformation. Nothing at the hands, but they can't actually hold stuff, like that dumb accessory he came with. Head is on a little ball joint there, which you always got to look out for those little antennas. But yeah, I mean, articulation's pretty good on him. I like the look. I like the face, too. Even though it's not accurate, it looks really sweet. That is such a cool head sculpt. Oh, man, I wish we would have gotten a Shockwave, because Shockwave had a drone design, too. We're never going to get that. I don't see how they could ever make that. But yeah, there's Dropkick. Before he was a movie star, he was a drone that died. Anyways, Payload time. So Payload, interestingly, he was repainted in Age of Extinction as Dispensor. I never got Dispensor. I just got Payload. But hey, you know what? It's a cool toy. I like it. He's a Armored Security Services truck with a Decepticon logo. So hey, it's an armored truck. I mean, they're going to pull up to your retailer and take the money. Blah, blah, blah. You know, that's what they do. But yeah, look at that. I like the stripe there. I like the color scheme. I like the really dark blue. If you didn't know, it's my favorite color. And I dig it. So there isn't much else to talk about. It has the nice plating and everything. You know, that part's painted silver, and that's just gray plastic. But let us transform him. Yes, let us transform him. So I'm trying to... I just transformed him into the alt mode for the video, and I'm already forgetting. So you crack open that whole part, and there's his head and chest just sticking there. And a lot of people Dispensor. It's funny, because the... I think the, like, actual soda machine was just printed on the top. A lot of people just displayed it like that. It's like, okay, cool, you do you. But anyways, you get the arms tabbed out from the bottom. That likes to come off a lot. Just take that off. Then you get those tabbed into the wheels. I love when Transformers do that, when they tab it into the wheel. And then you get those... get out of the way. Get these adjusted, get those flipped. And then you actually bend these down. So it's kind of funny, his feet are actually formed from the upside down cab. So you actually have a heel arch right there. Then you get those, and he actually has the plating carried forward on his knees, which is really cool. And then you get this pushed in, and then tabbed down. Get the hands out, which are cool. I love the light blue, the metallic light blue on him. I love the colors on this guy, probably more than I like the actual toy. But the toy's not bad. He might actually be my favorite drone out of all these. But then you take these big panels, and I love how they fold over. I mean, that is just... It's just such an excellent use of kibble. And there you go. There's the robot mode. Except one last thing. You take this, and you put it on the giant plunger on his back. Yeah, we'll talk about this. Don't worry. You already see what it's kind of doing. Yeah, I just tab that in. And then let's just get the cat out of the bag. You push that, and he has a claw. He has a claw that comes out of his belly. And that's actually a pretty effective claw. I mean, here, I got this little Halo guy from the Halo review I just did. He can probably grasp onto him if I do it right. See, look. It's an effective claw. It can actually grab on this stuff. It's really cool. I would hate that plunger if it wasn't used on such a cool gimmick. It's just such a cool gimmick. It's so fun to do. You just have to make sure they go all the way back before you put it in. Because if you don't wait, then it's going to get caught like that. So you just have to... There you go. So yeah, he has a kind of stubby head, but you can see what I'm talking about with the Shockwave mono-eye camera head. I mean, it's a cool looking head. I dig it. I'm sorry, I was just thinking of a joke that I really shouldn't say on camera about the head. He's a camera. I wonder what he films. Ooh la la. But yeah, there's that. Head is on a swivel. Funny enough, though, this guy, you can just pop that off. I don't know why. It's just on these 4 little pegs. I don't know if it was supposed to be glued in. But yeah, that just pops off. So be careful about that, I guess. Be careful, guys! Arms around ball joints. Bicep swivel, hinge, ball joints at the hands, so you can actually get range out of there. Swivel at the waist, ball joint at the hip. Does he have a swivel thigh? No, he does not. But he has a hinged knee. Actually, look at that. It has a little bit of exposure. It's kind of a double hinge, but you don't really get a lot of range. And then you have an ankle pivot. So articulation's not bad. He's just kind of stubby, but I love his colors. Those colors just really take me back to when I really was fascinated with the color blue when I was a very small child. So yeah, he might be my favorite. But you can see how much he has to stick out because of the plunger on his back. So I'm pretty sure Payload's probably my favorite. Next up, let's talk about my least favorite, Swindle. I mean, he's not a bad toy. He's just really weird. I don't know if he was ever repainted into anything else. He may just exist as Swindle. But yeah, he's got a little thruster. Look at that, woohoo! Even though because of that panel's always going to be loose. I don't like the car too much. I just don't. It's really plain looking. It's that kind of Hot Wheel that you just see and you pass up on, you know? It's not a very interesting looking car. I mean, I like the deco on the side, but it would look cooler on like an orange car or even a burgundy car instead of this bright, plain red. It's just like a play school red. I mean, does it roll well? I was starting to transform it. Does it roll? I mean, it rolls. One nice thing about these guys is that they roll. Here, let's get him transformed. Let's get this over with. He's actually pretty easy to transform. You just kind of do things, and you know, you do them, and you get them done. So let's get those hinged out for his arms. His arms are really weird. There's his arms. They're just so weird looking. It's like, look at that. He is one of those Transformers where you can just have the arms sticking out of the car. I always think those are really funny. So he looks like a Sid Phillips toy. That's hilarious. Anyways, his legs are actually the most interesting part. And that's actually where his automorph lies. So you just kind of have this jumbled mess. But look, you put the... I'm doing this so sporadically. You put the chest down and whoop! There's his head. Isn't that epic? Then you get his big old chest. His spark. There you go, that came out. Spoiler alert! That same thing is in his chest now. And then his legs, you actually twist them at the waist. And then you kind of get his foot flipped around. Then you get this heel out. Get the foot flipped around. You get the heel out. And then sometimes it automorphs, sometimes it doesn't. But those just kind of flip in. And then, there we go. There's Swindle in his Swindly. Yeah, this looks nothing like Swindle. They just used the name. But yeah, there we go. He's kind of permanently stuck looking up because of the spring. That piece will always just be flapping. It just doesn't tab in, unfortunately. I wish it did, but it doesn't. And I like the look of the legs, though. I think the legs are probably the coolest part, even though they're pretty gappy and just folded up car parts. He's just limited to that panel on the back. The hood pretty much is fully used on the chest. The door wings actually look cool to kind of close the gaps there. I think in the game they're actually kind of folded down, but they don't really fold down on the toy. So his gimmick, there's a little button on his back there, and you press that, and woo, he shoots out of his chest. Freaking Iron Man arc reactor. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, you can see he doesn't even have nice silver paint like Payload does. Not on the head there. His camera lens too looks more like a suction cup. It looks like he's just gonna leech off of you. It's horrible. And I don't like I don't know. He's probably my least favorite. And it's funny though, because he's the most recent one I've bought, and I actually ordered him online because I wanted to get all the Movie 1 drones. But yeah, his articulation. It's pretty much got nothing at the head. Ever so slight. Ball joints at the shoulders, hinges at the elbows that can go up all the way. Ball joints at the wrists, so at least you have wrist articulation. Ball joints at the doors, you can do whatever you want. Swivel at the waist, ball joints at the hips, which don't really do too much. They're just kind of restricted. Hinge at the knee, that doesn't do too much. Then you have the ankle hinge. So there's the transformation and the articulation on our good old boy Swindle, who came with absolutely nothing. No accessories whatsoever. This is all you got. So yeah, he is probably my least favorite. But he's not bad. He would look cooler in other colors for sure, but I don't think they ever repainted him. They might have. I might be mistaken, but I don't recall that repaint. But the thing is, you see them all together and you realize how, why I wanted him. Because the last one we have is Dreadwing. And Dreadwing got quite a few repaints. But this is the original Dreadwing, probably my favorite deco, because look at that. Oh my gosh. Bluish gray. You're after my own heart. And the camo too, I love it. This jet's actually really nice. He has the exhaust. He has the flames that are sticking out. He has these little pods here, which become his legs. Not too much visible robot junk, even though those pods are kind of distracting. I mean, you're kind of like, what is that? It kind of looks like a big old missile thing, though, which I can kind of respect. Looks like a giant missile would shoot out of it. Especially if you, open that flap, then it looks like it's really going to shoot out, even though you just see a hinge. But yeah, I don't think the cockpit opens up or anything, but still, it's a really nice jet. I really dig it. So transformation on him is pretty interesting. So these little pods, like I said, become the legs. And unfortunately, one of the things I like the least about this guy is that he has... I'm trying to think. Okay, that's the front of his legs. He has the smallest little legs, but the giantest upper body. I don't know if giantest is a word. I know there's giantess. I mean, that's kind of a... some people are into that. But... forget it. So I flipped the wings too early because you want to get the arms. Ooh, oh my gosh, what am I doing? What am I actually doing with my life? You get the arms out before you flip the wings. Then make sure the missiles don't fire. Probably should have taken those out first. And then you get the wings flipped. And I mean, as you can see, it's a really easy transformation. And you're kind of just left with, what am I going to do with the arms? And to that I say, do whatever, because they're just kind of on a series of hinges. And then they can begin to see his tiny little legs. And then this actually just spreads out. I love when Transformers do that. And look at all that exposed detail. And then he is an ancestor of the nose cone. Then you get these cool little panels flipped down like that. There you go, man. This might be my favorite. I don't know. Definitely my second favorite, probably. I don't know. I really like Dropkick, too. But I love Dreadwing. I might get some of the repaints. So, yeah, there's the full-bodied look of Dreadwing. He has these giant arms, pretty big head, and these tiny little legs. But I kind of dig the look. I hate in the video game, though, these guys, the only way to defeat them, they just land and they're like... and you just have to throw something at them. That's all you can do, is go... but yeah, I mean, the missiles do fire, as you would expect, and they fire very well. One extra thing you can do, though, the exhaust can actually open up to look like fingers. I almost forgot about that. It's a really cool little detail. So he actually looks like he has more like hands. So I love this guy. He's one of my favorite jet formas from the original 2007 movie line. I like it more than the original Starscream, I can tell you that. Articulation's kind of weird, though. You have a hinge and a ball joint at the head, so you can have it up, have it down. It's really expressive, too. I love the head. It kind of has the Seeker pylons, too, on the shoulders. I like that. Shoulders are on a hinge and a ball joint, and then the elbows are on a ball joint and a hinge. So you kind of have some things going on there. You could have it inward. I mean, it's kind of loose, that ball joint, so I don't know. It's up to you what you want to do. Me, personally, I usually keep it up like that because I like the wing being facing out. And you can't really do too much with the elbow, so you just kind of have them sticking up a little bit. Waist can swivel, and also he has a backward joint at the waist, too. Legs can go in and out and forward. No thigh swivel, but you do have a bend at the knee. You kind of have an inward bend at the shin there. Then you can just kind of move the feet a little bit. So yeah, there we go. There's all the Decepticon drones. The original 2007 Transformers movie toy line and the original 2007 Transformers movie video game. I love these guys. I just want to talk about all the unique molds Of course, there is Dirt Boss, but he was released in Revenge of the Fallen, and he was a scout class. It's kind of a shame, though, that Dropkick has the Autobot head, because otherwise all these guys would fit in so well with their awesome camera eyes. So, what are my favorites? I love Dropkick. He's great. Swindle's obviously my least favorite, but, I mean, you see why I got him. He's a nice contrast to the others. He really completes the team. Payload, I love his colors. Definitely my favorite colors. But I really like Dreadwing with the transformation and the unique design. So yeah, there we go. I highly recommend all these. Maybe not Swindle. Maybe not Swindle. And you may not like Payload's giant plunger thing, but I like it. I think it's kind of fun. And I can shimmy around and make the space on my shelf for it. So yeah, there we go. There's the Movie 1 Decepticon drones. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Check out my social media links, P.O. Box address, and frequently asked questions down in the description below. Have a good day, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Adios.